Hey guys, and welcome to episode 1 of the holiday card series, and I'm going to be doing 25 holiday cards for the Christmas season. And let's get started. I'm starting off with a basic size card with a vanilla cardstock in 5.5 by 4 1/4. You're going to cut your cardstock down to 5.5 by 8.5 and score it at 4 1/4 and fold it in half to create an A2 sized card. I'm using some patterned paper from the Jovial Paper Pack by Basic Grey, and I have a strip of real red cardstock from Stampin' Up! And I have this Fiskars scallop edge punch, and I'm going to take the guide off of it, and I'm going to put the real red cardstock all the way in until it touches the back, and I'm going to be punching out a scalloped border along the bottom because I don't have a scallop border punch, and I wanted the look of a scallop. And so I'm going along the bottom and I'm punching it out, and you can see it completely done there, and it looks exactly like a scallop border punch. And I'm going to be laying on top of my piece of patterned paper, and I'm going to mark it with a pencil on either side just to kind of see where I need to cut it out to fit along the scallop edge. And then I cut it out to the correct size for the card, and I take this piece of patterned paper and I add some adhesive onto the top of the scalloped edge of red cardstock, as well as a bottom edge of the patterned paper from Basic Grey. And I really love this paper collection because there's lots of traditional colors, but there's lots of untraditional prints, such as like plaids and stripes and just things like that, with some hints of blue and stuff inside of the cardstock. Then I'm going in with the Signo Uniball gel pen, and I'm drawing a dashed line at the bottom of the card to create some faux stitching. And I'm going to lay that onto the top of my card here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go and grab my corner rounder punch after I attach the guide back onto the punch, and you can see that I'm punching the edges of the card. And then I'm also gonna, or of the layer, and then I'm gonna also punch the edges of the card right now. And I thought I was gonna only punch the top 2 corners to mimic the top 2 corners I punched on the other one, but then I decide to punch the bottom 2 corners as well to kind of mimic the scallop edge along the bottom of the layer. So I'm laying the layer onto the card just to kind of get a guide of where I want it to be set on there. And I'm using some olive color ribbon from the Michaels ribbon section. And it's a satin ribbon. It's about a 1/2 inch wide ribbon. And I'm going to cut a pretty long strip of this ribbon so I could tie a knot with it. And I'm just going to go around and tie a knot, and you can see it finished right here. And it doesn't look all that great right now, but I'm going to adjust it a bit right now. And I'm just going to lay it on to the front of my card to kind of again see how I like it onto the front of the card, so you can see it there. And then I'm adjusting the ribbon to make it look a whole ton better by pulling it and kind of maneuvering it around to create nice edges of the ribbon. I'm using a stamp from the Recollections Merry Christmas stamp set from 2009, and I love the font the Merry Christmas is written in, and I'm using a Versamark ink pad, which is basically a watermark ink pad that has a glue base to it, so it allows you to stamp directly onto a piece of cardstock and emboss straight from the ink. And it's a clear ink, so you can't see it, but I'm adding on top of it a red embossing powder by Stampin' Up, and you can see I just keep them in little Tupperware dishes, and I pour it on with a little spoon, and I'm heat setting that with my heat tool, just so that I can get that all set up. And then what I'm doing is I am going to cut it out with a pair of scissors, because I didn't want to have to go over to my paper trimmer and completely trim it out, so I just cut it out with a pair of scissors. And I'm using a piece of patterned paper by the Jovial Basic Grey collection again, and this is where I was talking about the kind of non-traditional colors come in. And this kind of has a script on it, and it's distressed in a couple different ways, and it's just a really nice piece of paper to use on a card. So I'm adding some dimensional adhesive onto the back of that Merry Christmas sentiment, and I'm attaching it onto there, and I'm trimming it out so I get about an 1/8 inch border around the edge of that Merry Christmas sentiment, as you can see there. and I'm adding on a bit of adhesive from the Scotch ATG gun, and this is a 714 ATG gun, and I am adhering that into the top left corner of my card. And then this is the layer, and I'm going to attach this on to the base of my card. And that finishes up the card for today, you guys. So I hope to see you guys back with part 2 tomorrow, as well as day 2. And have a great day, everyone. Bye!